Some phrases sound harmless until you realize they are a coffin for your potential. And none is deadlier than this one. That's just the way I am. It's not humility. It's not self-awareness. It's a declaration of surrender. When a man says those words, he isn't describing himself, he's sentencing himself. He's standing before the infinite possibility of change and choosing chains instead. Chapter 1. That's just the way I am. Think about it. Every time you say, "That's just the way I am," you are building walls around yourself. You are telling the world and your own mind that you're finished, that there's no room left for growth, no more edges to sharpen, no more battles worth fighting. But here's the tragedy. You're lying to yourself, not out of malice, but out of fear. Because to admit you can change is to admit that you've been capable all along and that you've been wasting time. So instead, you take yesterday's version of yourself and dress it up as authenticity. You call it self-acceptance, when it's really self-abandonment. The Stoics saw life as a forge. You arrive as raw material, unshaped, untested. Every hardship, every loss, every victory, every insult from fate is the hammer and fire meant to refine you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The fool reads those words and says, "That's nice, but I'm just not that kind of person." What he's really saying is, "I'm afraid to step into the fire." So he blames his upbringing, his past mistakes, his personality type, even the stars. In the sky, anything that makes his weakness feel permanent. Because if it's permanent, he never has to face the discomfort of change. But permanence is an illusion. You are not carved in stone, you are clay. And clay is meant to be reshaped. Every day, you are either hardening into a brittle version of who you were, or letting the heat of life mold you into something more dangerous, more disciplined, more divine. The man who refuses to change isn't staying the same, he's decaying. Time is never neutral. It either sharpens you or dulls you, and that's just the way I am, is a vow to be dull. Here's the truth. Identity is not a prison. It's a weapon, but only if you keep reforging it. The man who clings to his flaws as if they were birthrights will die with the same fears, the same failures, the same frustrations he's had for decades. The man who rejects the phrase, "That's just the way I am," refuses to be chained by his past. He knows that strength is not inherited. It's built, one choice at a time. So the next time those words creep up your throat, swallow them. Replace them with, "This is who I'm becoming." Because every moment you live is an invitation to become more. And the man who wastes that invitation is not being true to himself. He's betraying himself. Chapter 2. I don't care what people think. The phrase sounds like the roar of a lion, but more often than not, it's the bark of a dog chained to its insecurities. I don't care what people think is the anthem of the man who desperately does. He wears the words like armor, but it's made of paper. Every syllable is a plea for the world to believe he is untouchable, when in truth, he is trembling under the weight of others' opinions. The louder he says it, the less it's true. Real strength doesn't need to be announced. The man who truly walks in freedom from the judgment of others doesn't tell you about it. He simply moves through life as if no one is watching. Epictetus wrote, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The Fool believes he's already conquered the need for approval, and in doing so, blinds himself to the fact that he's still chained to it. The tragedy is that in pretending not to care, he becomes more enslaved. He reacts to every comment, crafts every move for effect, and measures his worth in the shadows of other people's eyes. He hides behind defiance because admitting the truth would be unbearable, that his self-image is a fragile construct. 1. Sharp word away from collapse. The Stoic takes a different path. He doesn't seek to kill the opinions of others. He learns to master his response to them. He understands that people will talk, criticize, judge, and project their own insecurities. It's the nature of the crowd. But the power lies not in silencing the crowd, but in becoming immune to its noise. The man who claims he doesn't care often builds his life around proving it. He flaunts recklessness as courage, mistakes stubbornness for principle, and confuses being unapproachable with being strong. But strength is not in the wall you build, it's in the foundation you stand on. If that foundation is self-respect, no insult can shake you. If it's insecurity, you'll crumble the moment the applause fades. The irony is cruel. Those who are truly indifferent to others' opinions rarely speak about it. Those who aren't can't stop reminding everyone. When you stop living for the approval or disapproval of others, something radical happens. You gain back your focus. Your energy no longer leaks into defending an image or crafting an impression. You begin to live for the work itself, for the principles you hold, for the kind of man you want to be when no one is watching. And that is why the Stoic does not boast about not caring. He's too busy living according to his own code. He understands that the measure of a man is not how loudly he declares independence from opinion, but how little his course changes when the opinions come dot. So the next time you feel tempted to say, "I don't care what people think," stop. Ask yourself, do I need to say this, or can I simply live it? Because if the words are coming from your mouth, instead of being written in your actions, they might not be truth. They might be camouflage. And camouflage fades fast under the light of reality. True indifference is silent, steady, and rooted in discipline. Anything else is theater. And the man who lives his life on a stage will never know the freedom of walking alone in the dark, unshaken by who might be watching. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to Stoic Alchemist, where we explore how to turn adversity into inner strength. Hit the bell so you never miss content that will help you sharpen your mind and discipline. Remember, true strength begins the moment you take control of your words and thoughts. Chapter 3. It's Not My Fault. It's Not My Fault is the national anthem of the week. It is the first refuge of a man who cannot face himself in the mirror. He sings it after every setback, every failure, every disappointment. His parents, his boss, his ex, the economy, the system, the algorithm. There is always something, someone, somewhere else to blame. The problem isn't that life sometimes deals unfair cards. The problem is that he refuses to play the hand himself. By shifting the blame away, he believes he's protecting himself from guilt, but in truth, he's handing over his power. The moment you declare something isn't your fault, you declare it's not in your control. And if it's not in your control, you have no reason and no ability to change it. A Stoic refuses this posture of surrender. Even when events are genuinely outside his influence, he claims responsibility for how he responds to them. Marcus Aurelius didn't ask whether an obstacle was fair. He asked how he could turn it into fuel. Seneca didn't dwell on who caused his misfortunes. He focused on the virtues they demanded from him. Responsibility as leverage turns a victim into an active force in his own life. The weak man sees responsibility as a weight to avoid. The strong man sees it as the lever that moves the world. The man who says, "It's not my fault," clings to the comfort of victimhood, but that comfort rots him from the inside. Victims wait. They wait for the apology that never comes, for the change that never arrives, for the rescue that's not on its way. The one who takes responsibility, even when the blame doesn't truly belong to him, starts moving immediately. He sees that pain can be shaped into strength, and injustice can be forged into resolve. He would rather suffer in motion than stagnate. In safety, there are only two kinds of pain in life: the pain of growth and the pain of regret. The man who hides behind "it's not my fault" chooses regret every time. He trades the sharp, clean ache of effort for the slow poison of inaction. And regret is a cruel creditor. It collects its debt every night when you try to sleep, and every morning when you look at the man in the mirror. Stop thinking of responsibility as a sentence. See it for what it is: freedom. When you own the problem, you own the solution. When you hold the weight, you get stronger. When you stop asking who caused the fire and start carrying water, you become the kind of man no disaster can break. "It's not my fault" is a shield for the coward. Responsibility is the sword of the warrior. One defends weakness, the other builds strength. The choice is yours every time you open your mouth, and the man you become will be the sum of those choices. Chapter 4. Why should I try if nothing changes? These words are not a question. They are a confession. They are the quiet surrender of a man who has already given up before the real fight began. Why should I try if nothing changes? Is the echo of someone who wants the reward without the grind, the victory without the campaign, the transformation without the time in the fire. He dips his toe into effort, sees no instant miracle, and retreats into the safety of quitting. He goes to the gym for 2 weeks, doesn't see abs, and calls it pointless. He apologizes once to his partner, doesn't get immediate forgiveness, and decides change is useless. He launches a project, meets resistance, and folds, as if resistance wasn't the exact reason the effort mattered. The weak man thinks life is a vending machine. Insert effort, get reward. But life is more like a forge. You stand in the heat, hammered by the blows, until the shape emerges. The shape doesn't appear after a day or a week. It appears after years of holding your ground when nothing seems to move. The Stoic understands this. He does not train, work, or endure because results come quickly. He does it because the process itself is the path. Miyamoto Musashi didn't step into battle only when victory was guaranteed. He trained every day, fought when called, and kept sharpening his blade, not because each duel would change his life instantly, but because every act of discipline was a step toward mastery. The truth is, most change is invisible until it's undeniable. You don't notice the stone wearing down under the drip of water until it has split in two. You don't feel the strength in your character building with each act of self-control until one day you are faced with a storm that would have destroyed the man you used to be, and you remain standing. A man who says, "Why should I try if nothing changes?" has confused the absence of visible results with the absence of progress. Progress is slow, silent, and stubborn. And that's why it breaks most men before they see it. The danger of this phrase is that it doesn't just kill one attempt, it kills the habit of trying. And once the habit of trying dies, the man dies with it, even if he keeps walking around. A man without the fire to keep going, without the willingness to push through the invisible stages of growth, is already half buried in his own defeat. The grave just hasn't been filled in yet. The cure is brutal but simple. Stop looking at the scoreboard and start loving the game. Commit to the process as if the result didn't matter, because ironically, that is when results start to appear. Train for the sake of training. Work for the sake of working. Improve for the sake of becoming dangerous, even if no one else notices. Because one day, the change will be visible, not in the mirror, not in your bank account, not in the applause of others, but in the way you face the trials that used to crush you. The man who waits for proof before acting will wait until he's dead. The man who acts without needing proof is already living like a warrior. Chapter 5. I deserve better. On the surface, it sounds noble, strong, even righteous. I deserve better. But for most men who say it, those words are not a declaration of standards. They're a shield for entitlement. It's the favorite phrase of the man who wants to feel like a king without building a kingdom. He believes he deserves loyalty, wealth, admiration, and ease, but he hasn't shed a drop of blood for any of them. He confuses wanting with deserving, as if desire alone was a form of currency. In his mind, the world is unfair because it hasn't given him what he's convinced is already his. The truth is harsher. You don't deserve anything by default. You earn it. You earn respect by embodying discipline. You earn trust by being consistent. You earn love by giving it without condition. You earn wealth by creating value that others can't ignore. The Stoic never asks, "What do I deserve?" He asks, "What am I willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to become?" Because desire without discipline is nothing more than a fantasy, and fantasies are where weak men go to hide from the reality of their mediocrity. When a man says, "I deserve better," but refuses to change, he's really saying, "I want the reward without the cost." And life doesn't work like that. The world doesn't hand out thrones. It hands out trials. The men who survive them get the crown. The rest just keep talking about how unfair it all is. And while they talk, their days bleed away days they could have spent sharpening themselves into someone truly worthy of what they claim to want. The dangerous part of this phrase is that it makes a man feel active while keeping him passive. It gives him a false sense of superiority, a way to point to everyone else's shortcomings without confronting his own. But superiority is not declared, it's demonstrated. If you truly believe you deserve better, prove it by becoming better. And if you refuse to become better, then you don't deserve more. You deserve exactly what you've got. The Stoic approach is relentless self-interrogation. Do I want more because I've outgrown my current circumstances, or because I'm unwilling to face my own role in creating them? Do I believe I deserve better because I've built myself into something rare, or because I can't accept the reflection in the mirror? The answer to those questions separates the man on the path from the man stuck at the starting line. So kill the phrase, erase it from your vocabulary. Replace "I deserve better" with "I will become better." Because when you become better, you don't have to demand more. The world starts offering it. And if it doesn't, you'll be strong enough to take it. Chapter 6. That's impossible. That's impossible is rarely a statement of fact. More often, It's a confession of unwillingness. A man who says it is not usually confronting a genuine limit of reality. He is confronting the edge of his own courage and deciding to stop there. He sees another man rise from nothing and says, he got lucky. He sees someone achieve a level of discipline he can't fathom and mutters, that's fake. In doing so, he protects himself from the uncomfortable truth that greatness is possible and that he has simply chosen not to pursue it. The weak man uses "that's impossible" as camouflage for fear. If something is impossible, he never has to try. If no one could do it, then his inaction is justified. But the moment he admits that another man has achieved what he hasn't, the mirror becomes unbearable. To acknowledge possibility is to acknowledge responsibility, and responsibility is the last thing the coward wants. The Stoics treated difficulty as an invitation, not a verdict. Seneca wrote, "Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body." The obstacle was not a wall to stop you. It was the weight meant to make you stronger. The man who understands this doesn't ask if something is possible. He asks how much it will demand from him and whether he is willing to pay that price. Most men are not. They'd rather shrink their vision to fit their comfort than expand their effort to meet the challenge. What "that's impossible" really means is I am not willing to endure what it takes. But here's the truth. Almost anything worth having will break you before it builds you. It will strip away your illusions, expose your weaknesses, and demand every ounce of discipline you can muster. Most will turn back at the first sign of that price. The few who press on find that the limits they thought were walls were only shadows. Every man has a choice when faced with something that feels impossible. Declare defeat or declare war. One path leaves you exactly where you started, clinging to the comfort of knowing you never tried. The other path will drag you through fire, failure, and fatigue, but it will also reveal a version of yourself you never knew existed. That is why the phrase, "that's impossible," is poison. Once you swallow it, you stop before you've even begun. If you want to live like a warrior, kill the phrase. Replace it with, "I will find a way." Even if you fail, you will fail forward armed with experience, sharpened by effort, dangerous in ways the man who never tried will never understand. And that is the real victory. Because the impossible is not a barrier. It is an invitation to become something greater than you are. The men who accept that invitation are the ones who change their own lives, and sometimes the world. Asterisk if you want to keep walking this path of transformation and become a man who speaks and acts with purpose. Subscribe to Stoic Alchemist now. Tap the bell to get every new video and join a community dedicated to clarity, resilience, and personal mastery. Drop a comment below sharing which of these 6 phrases has held you back the most and how you plan to start eliminating them from your life. Remember, power lies in your words, but above all, in what you do when no one's watching.